What is going on, everyone? We are back with another review. And in this one, we are reviewing Season 1, Episode 34 of The Twilight Zone. And this is called The After Hours. This is directed by Douglas Hayes. Hayes? Probably Hayes. And written by Rod Serling. Rod Serling actually ended up writing a very great episode. I'm just going to come out and say it. I thought The After Hours was really good and probably one of the earliest stories involving mannequins that come alive. This is one of the few episodes that we've run across this season that actually has an almost horror feel to it for a little bit until the twist. And it ended up being really cool how they played it off. So, to give you a rundown of the story, we start off with Marcia, who's the main character, and I'm going to remember that strictly because of the Brady Bunch. And Marcia is looking for a gold thimble for her mom's birthday that she's going to send to her mom for her birthday. And she goes to get on the elevator to go up to another floor in this department store, and this other elevator comes down, and she gets on, and he's like, this is the what you're looking for. She asks her what she wants. She says a gold thimble. He says what you need is on the ninth floor, and this is an express elevator strictly to the ninth floor. So he goes up the elevator, and she's a little confused on what's going on. She gets up to the ninth floor, and some lady, is up there, and it's a completely empty floor that looks like a department store. And as Marcia gets approached by a worker on the ninth floor, a worker on the ninth floor, and the worker on the ninth floor is like, hey, what is it that you need? She says a gold thimble. She says right this way. And she walks her over, and the only thing on this floor is a gold thimble. So she sells the gold thimble for $25 cash. Calls her out by name, calls Marcia out by her name. Marcia starts to get worried because she's like, how do you know who I am? And the lady is like, well, and she's like, you know what, you don't know me. Leave me alone. What I'm doing is none of your business. And he's like, oh, none of my business, huh? And Marcia leaves. She gets back on the elevator with the guy that's running the elevator. She starts to complain that apparently the thimble has scratches and is dented. And the guy's like, complaint department, third floor. And it stops on the third floor. He opens it up. She gets off. She complains to the people that own the company, and they're like, yo, there is no ninth floor. And she's like, there is. I went up there, and somebody helped me. In fact, that's the lady over there. And because she sees the lady from behind, she's like, miss. And all of a sudden, one of the guys that actually worked there grabbed the lady and turned her around, and she's a mannequin. And at this point, the story gets interesting, because I'm not going to lie to you, I was not expecting that. It's a pleasant surprise. So she then goes and faints, is taken to a couch where she falls asleep, and after hours, she happens to wake up, which I found it really weird that they just let her sleep after hours. Strange. But she wakes up and she's in this room, and all of a sudden, she starts hearing the mannequins talk. And they're all repeating the same phrases over and over again, and she's losing her mind. Now, they're not physically talking, they're not moving, their lips aren't moving, but she hears them talking. So it's like almost like she's going crazy. She eventually, the elevator opens up, she gets on, and it takes her back up to the ninth floor. And as she gets up to the ninth floor, the mannequin of the lady that she had sold something to is standing at the door. She starts to scream and falls down. The mannequin comes to life, comes in, picks her up. Not like picks her up, but helps her up. They walk on the floor, and as they're walking to the floor of the ninth floor, all of the other mannequins start to come alive and walk off, which I thought was a really cool scene. And this is where we get the twist of the story, where she finally remembers who she is and that she is a mannequin, and apparently that all the mannequins get to live for a full month out of the year as a human being. And it's the lady's turn that was trying to sell her something. So then at the very end, one of the guys that had helped her when she was trying to um, return her thimble, one of the owners, managers, whatever, supervisor, I guess, is walking through the floor and sees the mannequin of the lady and has a very quick moment of paranoia, like, "Yo, what's going on? Why does she look just like she?" He doesn't say this, but you can read it in his face. Like, why does she look just like that lady? Um, and that's how the story ends. Now, I'm telling you, this is ranking pretty high up on my list. I really liked this episode. I'm completely paranoid about the next two episodes because the next one's a baseball-based episode. I don't do baseball. I don't like baseball, so we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, the last one has nothing to do with Rod Serling, so I'm actually looking forward to that one. Now, with that being said, I do love this episode. The acting is top notch. I love the mannequin thing. Again, mannequins aren't used as a horror idea. You see them in horror movies often, but it's usually not for the horror itself, right? Of course, every now and again you do, but usually the mannequins in something like this are just think like, what's the zombie movie that Will Smith was in? Based off of a book by a dude that's extremely racist. That I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, guys. It's late, and I'm mad at myself because I'll remember it after I stop recording. But he talks to mannequins, and so they're like a background piece, but they're not. One of them's name's Ted. Like, I remember him being like, "What are you talking about, Ted?" So, like, the fact that I can remember that, but I can't, the fact that I can't remember the goddamn name of the movie makes me mad because it's like right there. Um. Anyways, that's not important. Uh. So again, great episode. I highly encourage anyone, if you haven't watched this, watch this episode. It was so good, so much fun, and like I said, it's one of the few of the entire season that actually feels like it has a horror motif to it, which is what I am looking for. Um, that is going to do it, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Two more episodes, and then Twilight Zone season 1 gets replaced by something else. Will it be Twilight Zone season 2? Will it be a show that we haven't watched anything yet? Will it be a movie? Who knows? But it's coming down to that time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. I love you. We'll see you next time. Peace.